The Lakshmi Mittal family has donated more than $20 million to Harvard to form the Lakshmi Mittal Institute of South Asian Studies. Now, recently, they had the Pakistan conference at the Lakshmi Mittal Institute, and there's a huge backlash because this Pakistan conference came against the backdrop of these horrific attacks of innocent civilians in Pahalgam, in Kashmir, by terrorists. Now, the Lakshmi Mittal Institute finally issued a statement because of a huge backlash, and they said that they did not choose the topics or the content or the speakers in this conference, and they went further and said that they also fund the Harvard India conference, and they don't track that either. Would any serious businessman give $25 million and not do due diligence? Isn't the cornerstone of any successful enterprise due diligence? And if the Mittals do not do due diligence on their funding to Harvard, then it is gross negligence and it is reckless. But if they did do due diligence and turned the other way, it is even worse. So the Mittal Institute justifies the funding of the Harvard-Pakistan conference by saying, we also bankroll a Harvard-India conference, so it's not a big deal. Now, we talk about the Harvard-India conference in the book Snakes in the Ganga, and I'd like to give a few examples. One of the panelists in a past Harvard-India conference is a person by the name of Rakib Hamid Nayak. He is a journalist who works for Al Jazeera and The Wire, and he is a Kashmir separatist and is against India's sovereignty in Kashmir. He also gave a testimony to the US congressional briefing on Kashmir, talking about India's heavy-handedness in Kashmir, accusing India of brutal atrocities in Kashmir. He also supports the Rohingya migration and says that the Indian state is very heavy-handed and portrays India as being very hostile. He is also aligned with the Indian American Muslim Council, which is a Hindu-phobic organization, which is an anti-India lobby in the US. Then the Harvard conference hosted a person by the name of Arfa Khanun Sherwani, who compared India to Nazi Germany. We have another person by the name of Aman Wadud at the past Mittal Institute's Harvard India conference who attacked the Citizenship Amendment Act. Then we have another person by the name of Hussein Haidari, who's a writer and a lyricist, who expressed very strong disapproval of the court decision on Ayodhya, the court verdict on the Ram Mandir. He called for progressive people to unleash chaos and unrest in Ayodhya to stop the Bhumi Pujan ceremony in Ayodhya. As is routine in Harvard, there are no alternate voices, and dissenting ideas are not given any space at these conferences. There is never an expert brought in to talk about Kashmir's long spiritual and literary heritage, for example. There is never a Kashmiri Pandit who is brought in to recount their experiences of trauma as they were expelled from Kashmir. There are no legal scholars brought in to present India's constitutional position, for example. And there are no discussions on Pakistan's repeated violations of UN resolutions on Kashmir. And there is nothing on China's illegal occupation of Indian territories, is another example. So what is worse is that the Indian billionaires proudly fund these events, but do not care or make an effort to find out if there is accuracy and balance in these initiatives. Their silence enables this bias to continue. So this isn't about intellectual diversity, it's ideological capture. That's what's going on at these places. And we need to ask, should the Mittals be responsible for the content and narrative that their money enables?